I've talked a little bit about narcissism before, autistic narcissism, and sort of how narcissism gets created. Narcissism is just, I do not care about you. The only way that that can get created is they first had to turn away from themselves. They had to say, self, I do not care about you. I am not listening to you. I am not attuned to your emotions. And then that attitude showed up with everybody else in their life. Every other relationship that they tried to create, they put out the energy of, I am not listening to your emotions. I do not care about you. And what happens when you don't have self-attunement? You become self-destructive. You accidentally hurt yourself all the time because you cannot feel what your emotional body is trying to tell you. The same thing happens in your outer relationships. You cannot feel what others are feeling, and so you hurt them all over the place. You dismiss what they need. You intellectualize it and justify it. I believe there are more narcissistic men than narcissistic women. And it has a lot to do with the way that we socialize men. We say, you must turn away from your own self. Stop attuning to your feelings. Become a blunt object that will just barrel through life. Narcissism shows up in people naturally as a survival response, a way to get through. But it's not something that survives well or stays around when human society is very communal and interconnected. If you take a narcissistic person and put them in the middle of a bunch of humans that are collaborating with each other, they will quickly find that the narcissistic person is not taking others' emotions into account, maybe manipulating others. And that behavior becomes maladaptive. It becomes not a very good social strategy. The only place that narcissism survives well and sticks around in people is when it is a successful survival strategy, when you're in an independent society that doesn't require people to emotionally attune to each other, where it's actually helpful to not be able to feel your own emotions. Normally in the world, if you have developed a strategy that is to be self-destructive, to not feel your own emotions, not feel the emotions of others, not be able to collaborate, that would not be very successful for you because you're going to destroy both yourself and others. But in our society, we actually reward that behavior. We reward antisocial behavior. When we become more communal, when we become more community-based, I think narcissism will work itself out of those systems. I think that people who are using that emotional strategy will actually learn to start attuning to themselves and others.